Hi friends, it's Laressa, aka La to the R-E-S-S-A. Welcome back, or welcome to the channel if you are new here. This is a place on the internet where I help fellow real estate brothers and sisters become that real estate agent. And in this video, I'm going to show you how I made and programmed these buttons that you're seeing on screen right now, all of these CTAs, these animated lower thirds, how I have programmed them into OBS, and I'm triggering them with my Elgato Stream Deck. So these pop-up animations are in live time because I pressed a button on my Stream Deck. So that means I don't have to no longer edit in these animations after I am done filming a video. So this has definitely changed the game for me when it comes to recording very seamless content. It makes it very enjoyable for me because I film as if I am live streaming. So first things first, I just want to say that this video may be very left field for some people who are not familiar with OBS Studios and the Elgato Stream Deck. So really, I'm filming this video for myself so I don't forget how to do this, and I figured that it might be helpful to just the small percentage of you who are familiar with OBS Studios and the Elgato Stream Deck. So first thing first, to begin this whole situation, we need to have our CTAs or animated lower thirds done up in Canva. So we're gonna head on over to Canva here. So this is a previous design that I have done up. I actually made a tutorial on this exact subscribe button animation, so check out the card above and the link down in the description box down below, because I show you exactly how to make this step by step. Now, we need to keep this as a green screen, but in order to have this as a pop-up trigger button on OBS, there's a little bit of finessing that we have to do. So what I have learned is that you need to put a little bit of a green screen between or before and after the design here. So let's say this design here, you see, this is the design here, but we need a little bit of green screen before and after the design just to act as a bit of a buffer. So I just pull this down to 1 second and this down to 1 second, because I find that if you don't have a green screen buffer per se before the animation plays, OBS does this weird black screen and then it pops up the animation. I don't know why, but this is what I found to work best for me. So if you give it a playback, this is what it should look like, just a bit of a buffer so that it looks very clean on OBS Studios when we are filming. Now, in this case, I am just going to download this here, and I'm going to make sure I select the proper pages. I just need 2 to 4, and I'm going to download this. And then I'm going to take this design and I'm going to import it into CapCut, because CapCut is a free editing software. If you use the desktop version, which is much more easier in my opinion, you can then pull in sound effects to make this come more alive, if you know what I mean. So I will be back when this finishes downloading. This video is proudly sponsored by me. No, I'm serious. If you scan this code here, it's going to take you to my Etsy shop, where you will find Canva templates for my fellow real estate brothers and sisters to help you save some time and make you that real estate agent. As always, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for supporting my work. Hot! Alright, and she is done. So we are going to scoot over to here. So this is CapCut. I've already opened up a project. This was actually the project that I had used when I did the previous tutorial of how to make your subscribe button with Canva. Because that video was done a while ago, I deleted that media file, which is why it is lost. So that's okay. So what is remaining on my timeline is the sound effects here. So I'm just gonna simply just delete. Don't do that, because I have grouped them together. That's why. We are going to ungroup and then select just that clip and delete it. Yeah, we're gonna do that. And then I'm gonna go into media here, and I am going to just import the clip that we just exported from Canva into here. And then we can drag this onto our timeline. Accordingly, we're gonna have to scoot our sound effects here and try to time them again. So here, scoot over here, like that. Now in this case, we are keeping that green screen. I just wanted to come into CapCut just to use the sounds. And then at this point, we are just going to download this exactly as it is to a designated folder on our computer here. So I'm going to export this up here. Click on that. And by the way, I forgot to mention, if you wanted to find these sounds, just go into the audio here. I have them already in my favorites, but you can search them. Like whoosh effect, look for whoosh. This one is called a deep whoosh. This one is called mouse click. It is called mouse click. Single click 2. And a building. Whatever floats your boat, you can choose that as you'd like. Again, we are going to export this up here. And then, hello? Okay, that doesn't seem to work, but if I use the shortcut, for me, it's Command E to export. I don't know what that is on Microsoft, I'm sorry. So in this case, I'm going to title this YouTube sub button. And I'm going to, as I mentioned, save this to a folder that lives on my desktop forever. Because if you are programming media to OBS, it has to be constantly pulling that media information. So I hope that makes sense. So for me in particular, I have a designated folder, if I can find it. It is going to be in documents somewhere here. So I have YouTube channel, and then I have over here OBS assets, and I already have a folder called YouTube CTAs because I've already programmed mine, but I'm going to save it into here so you understand what I mean. So save it to a folder that lives on your computer forever. Now export. So give that a second. So again, this is that folder, that YouTube OBS assets, YouTube CTAs, and we just imported or exported this here from CapCut. So if we give this a play, that's what it looks like. So again, it has a bit of that buffer of the green screen from the beginning to end, so it will look seamless on OBS. You will need the OBS Studio plugin. So to find that, we want to make sure that you have your Stream Deck application open. So for me, I can just go up to here and then configure Stream Deck, and it's going to open up this page. Now notice here they've changed some things around now. So if you click this icon here, it's like this pink arrow and this green X. If you click on that, this is going to open up the Elgato Marketplace here. So this is a Chrome tab that I have opened. And now you want to go to plugins here. Now you can search up here OBS Studios, but typically it should be somewhere at the top. Now again, I am on a Mac OS device, and I currently do have this already installed on my Stream Deck. But if it wasn't, what it would typically look like, so in this case, Twitch, I don't have this on my Stream Deck, but all you have to do is just click Get, because it's a free plugin, Get, and then it's going to say this, open Twitch in Stream Deck, open the Elgato Stream Deck, and you'll see here that it says Twitch plugin installed, and it has immediately opened up this drop-down menu of everything here. Also, one quick thing that I forgot to mention, if you go to your Stream Deck application, if you click on this coggle here, what I like turned on is, if you go to style, is this multi-action and have this checked on show progress overlay. So that way when you do press a button on your Stream Deck, let's say the sub button, you can actually see this check mark circle, and then once it's complete, you'll know that that action has been fully completed and it is done. I like that for just a visual cue. We're going to go down here, we're going to click this button here, the plus button, we're going to call this Test CTA Board, okay? But it's okay. Now it's going to take us to this scene, it's going to be black. That's okay. We now need to go to the sources here, and we're going to go down and click this plus button. Now with this plus button, we need to go to the media source, right? And so we're going to call this sub button. Whatever you want to name it, but this is for the subscribe pop-up. Okay, so we're gonna hit OK. Then we're gonna go to we're going to browse. We're going to browse, and then we're going to go to our folder of where we put that specific subscribe button. Again, it's going to live there forever. So it's going to be YouTube CTAs. This is the one. That's the one. Okay? Now, take note of the seconds here. Okay? So this is a 10-second clip. Remember that. Very important. Open, and that's all we have to do. Just hit OK. Now we have this. So now this is a media piece that is going to be there. And then once it's done, it goes black. So right now, this is actually toggled on. You see this eye here? We want to turn this off. So turn it off. So now it is off. Now, what we are going to be doing is creating the button on the Stream Deck. So basically what we're doing is we're telling OBS that if I press this button, turn this source on, let it play for 10 seconds, and then turn it off. And let's say randomly I'm creating a new folder, and I'm going to right click, create new folder. Let's say this folder is OBS YouTube, or whatever you want to say. Doesn't really matter. But we're going to click inside this folder, and I'm going to click on a button, and we are going to go over here. This is called the multi-action. You want to open this coggle, and this is part of the Stream Deck functions, so it's called a multi-action. So we are going to click and drag onto a button there, and we can call this sub for now. We can also change the icon later on, which I will show you, but we have to create the mechanics of this button first. So what we need to do is go to OBS here, open up this toggle, and we need to go to source visibility. So click and drag here, and in this case we can name this, let's see, sub on. And then we're going to choose the scene. So the scene we created is from here. So the scene is test CTA board here. As you remember, like I said, you need to make sure that you have OBS Studios and Stream Deck application both open. So we're going to click this, and the source is going to be this sub button. So again, that's the only source that is in that scene. And then we are going to do a multi-action delay. So if you scroll down here, you'll see multi-action delay. So I'm going to click and drag this here. And remember, that clip was a 10-second clip. Now in Stream Deck, they do milliseconds, so that's going to be 10,000 milliseconds. So we're going to turn it on, let it open and play for 10 seconds, and then we're going to turn it off. And to do the turn off part, what I typically like to do is I like to just copy, right click to copy, and then right click to paste. And this, instead, I change the title to sub off, and I hide it. So that is what the mechanics of that button looks like. I know it sounds absolutely crazy, but it works. So I'm gonna click out of here, and that's pretty much your button all ready to go. Now to test this, we can go ahead and click this button on our Stream Deck and see if it will work. Fingers crossed. On. And then it's gonna play all the way through for 10 seconds, and then it's off. We forgot one of the most important bits of this is to remove the green screen. So now that we have the button made, click on your source and then click filters. And then here, effects, click this plus button and then go to Chroma Key. Dun dun, press OK. And then it's already on green screen. It's already working, because if it wasn't, it wouldn't work. So it's already on green. So, and you can also change this here. So if it wasn't working good enough, you can change the intensity. You can move it up more, down. But I find that the 400 is just perfect. So I keep that there. I don't touch anything else, and I just press close. And again, we can test this button with our Stream Deck, so press the sub button. And now, it looks absolutely perfect. Now, I should mention one very important thing. We did have sound on this application, on this video, but the thing is, when you are playing it in OBS, you won't actually hear the playback because we don't have in-ear monitors. Hello, this is Editing Laressa. Just to segue, or rather clarify and reiterate, when you are using these CTA buttons on OBS, you can't hear the sound effects unless you have, let's say, a headset plugged in. But in this case, for me personally, I don't mind not hearing the CTA because it makes it less distracting when I'm actually filming in live time. So I know when I press the button, I can see the progress bar or the circle, and then just know that it's playing in live time. And just in case if the audio is a bit too loud or a bit too quiet, you actually can go in and adjust the sound within OBS itself. Now, the only way you're going to know if it's too loud or too quiet is if you listen and look back at after you film the playback video to see if it is too loud or too quiet. So with that said, you can go over here and make sure you go to your CTA board here, and then we can turn this sub button on just to have a look. But you want to turn it on because if you scroll down here, the audio mixer, you can see that this was moving. So that's the audio. So let's do it one more time. You can see that the audio is being played. Now, in case it's too loud, you can go in here and just pull this down like that, and that can adjust the audio that way. But if it's too quiet, you want to go over here to these two coggles. Click on that. It's going to open up the audio, the advanced audio properties. Scroll down, find your sub button, and then you can go in here and manually type in, 2 dBs up, or you can hit these little arrow buttons to adjust accordingly. But if it is all good, just keep it at 0. And then make sure you turn this off so your Stream Deck button is queued up and ready to go. Let me go ahead and create a new scene. Just call it scene 2. Whatever. Scene 2. Blank scene. Okay. Go to the scene here. We would have to go, in this case, if we wanted to video capture, we need to press OK, name it whatever it is, pull up my Brio. That's the camera I film with. Then that's just the camera. Then you need to also attach your microphone. So this is also going to be, let's see. Where are you? Down here. Deprecated. It's going to be audio. No. Audio up here. Audio import capture. And this is going to be my Shure MV7. And just press OK. And then now we can import a scene. So the scene here is going to be our where are you? Test CTA board. Press OK. So now you have your camera, you have your microphone, and you have your CTA board. So again, you see here, on here, if I click this button on my Stream Deck, it should play here. And then after 10 seconds, it goes down. So this means that every time you create a new scene on OBS Studios, you have to make sure that you attach that CTA board to every scene. Hello, hi, it is Editing Laressa back again. Now, one important thing to note here is that when you create your nested scene, so your nested scene within a source, you want to make sure that the test CTA board, or just the CTA board, is the first layer as the source. Because if it is not, if it is, let's say, behind or at the bottom of your camera, technically your camera is in front of your CTA board. So even if I press the sub button on my Stream Deck, you're not going to see it. So you want to make sure that, again, your CTA board is the first source layer of all your scenes. So in this case, if I go to my personal scenes that I've made for filming my videos, I have this full face scene. So I have the CTA board in this scene. If I go over to, let's say, my computer screen, you're going to see this. And I have, again, the CTA board here, if I go to, let's say, this screen here, I also have my CTA board in there, because if I ever hit my CTA button in whatever scene, you should still be able to see this CTA button, the subscribe button, in this scene, in this scene, and in this scene, because again, the CTA board is a nested source within every scene that you create. Also, just for some added nuance, in regards to your CTA board, you can create multiple buttons. So really quickly here, I will show you what my CTA board looks like if I can find it. CTA board. Now you can see here I have a number of CTAs here. So not just one, I have like 12. So essentially what you're doing when you're creating a CTA board as a nested source within a scene, you create what's typically called a soundboard. That's why I call it a CTA board. So that way when you program your buttons, you're programming individual buttons that are these individual sources. You see this? So in this case, for if I go back to full face, I have a button just to subscribe. I have another button that says, hey, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. I have another button for a comment. You get the idea. So essentially you are creating a soundboard. I call it a CTA board, and then you go ahead and put that CTA board in all of your scenes. So when you're in live time, whether you are recording or even live streaming, you can have all these call to actions to make sure that your audience is engaging with your content. So this here is just a 225 by 225 canvas. You can make a custom canvas. So if you go to the home screen of here, let's see, go to create a design, and then you go to here, custom size. Then you can just go in 225 pixels and then just hit create. Now in this case, here's my sub button that I actually have on my Stream Deck, but if you didn't know how to make it, I will show you right now. So I'm just going to, let's say that red wasn't there. Let's say this was a blank white page. I just went to the elements here, search for subscribe or YouTube subscribe button. It's one of my recent searches, and then just go in and find anyone that you like. This one is a pro one, but I think this is the one that I did use. And basically what I did was I just double clicked and I just cropped just the sub part just like that, and then I just made it take up this entire page. Dun, dun, just like that. And then for the background, I just changed it to that red color by just going over here and picking the color drop tool like that. Boom, sub button. Then you go here to share, go to download, and then go in PNG. And then I just need just that first page. Hit download. Now again, same thing with the sub button, the actual video file. You have to save this piece of media to a designated folder on your desktop that lives there forever, so OBS knows to pull that information from that file. So let's see here. I have my folder, and it is called, where are you? Stream Deck icons. Here. So I'm going to go into my downloads here, and I'm just going to do that. And right now it's called Stream Deck icons. I'm just going to leave it as it is there so I remember it. And then we go back to our Stream Deck. Hi, Stream Deck. Make sure that is opened. And then if we click on this, it's selected, it opens this here. Then typically what I like to do is have no title, because we don't need that. Now if you click this button, this kind of arrow down button, click on that, set from file, click on that, and then again it's going to probably find that folder for you. In this case it did. If it didn't, browse for that folder. It is this one here. So I'm going to open that, and boom, bang, you got a sub button, and it's also shown on your sub here as well. If you want to learn more about OBS Studios and how to program your scenes like this, that, and the other, like how I do mine, then check out this video right over here. And if you're ready, get ready to click in 3, 2, 1.